as I am muted. Darn it. Pro streamer. Now is the time of the week when we turn our gaze not from the skies above that threaten with storm or thunder, threaten to sunder, threaten to soak, threaten to snow. Instead, we turn our eyes to the world below, cloaked in shadow, deadly and savage. It is the world of the Mad Mage, and it is the world of Undermountain. Last week, our crew entered into Undermountain for the first time. They briefly touched the surface of this vast complex. There were some successes. Secret doors were found. Hidden passageways explored. A pair of goblins met that seemed to be, at the very least, business people. Some things were not exactly checked off in the according to plan list. Most notably, the barbarian Kyogen starts this episode in this session as he ended the last, stuck to a cursed sword. A cursed sword that is also stuck to a large armor-wielding or shield-bearing mannequin. That's a problem. A problem on the surface. A deadly problem in Undermountain. As at the very end of the episode, a scream was heard. A great bellowing yelp that rumbled and caused the temple and the grounds around to shake, threatening the low ceiling overhead and compromising the bowels of Piddle, the goblin negotiator who was currently talking with the paladin. But before we go in that direction, we must speak of the narrative itself. The narrative of the Dungeon of the Mad Mage is fluid, the complex vast, the stories and the backstories of each of the characters their own, created by players who have invested time and a little bit of themselves in the people they've created. But that's where chat comes in. If you elect to become a part of the narrative, you may do so by looking down below. Any type of donation that you would like to make could potentially aid or challenge the group inside Hallister Blackcloak's dungeon. But that is neither here nor there, as the narrative will continue. But the first thing that we must do is figure out, where did that scream come from? And to figure that one out, we must go over to a new face. Katie, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Tonight you will be guest starring here on Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and you are directly responsible for the screams that the rest of the crew heard at the end of the first episode. Briefly tell us who you'll be playing, and if you could, think if they had just kicked open the doors of a Western saloon. The proverbial record has skipped. Everyone has turned around to take a look. And who do they see?
I'll be playing Ellie Thimbleweed. And if you look at her, she has dark, almost obsidian skin. One of her long ears, because she's a drow, is sort of chopped off. It looks like it was taken off in a very horrible bite. She has long, white as snow dreadlocks through her hair with beads braided into them, and she's rather tall for a drow, even for an elf. She towers over a lot of her compatriots, but she, at this very moment, if you were to see her, looks terrified, scared out of her mind.
Which is a good reaction to have, as Ellie was part of a war party that was sent by the matron mothers to investigate this very complex of Undermountain, for the Spider Queen herself had lost sight inside this vast complex. And for someone that plies secrets as others do gold and power, this Lolth could not abide. And in conjunction with the prophecy among the Drow people that foretold of the end of their race coming from just such a secret or hidden place, directed by the matron mothers, the war party left and entered Undermountain. Ellie, as soon as you did, you were beset by horrors. Your way back blocked. The secrets within, even so brief that you were able to discover or glean, would die with you in this complex. But a Drow war party you were, and you fought valiantly. If there is lessons to be learned, even among those that the surface would consider evil, there are strategies and tactics that are second to none, or perhaps were second to none. So Ellie, you find yourself running. When you entered Undermountain, you were deep below the surface, days below the surface. But as you run, the creatures chasing you just steps behind. You throw open a door, unaware if it'll even open, unaware of what lies behind. But as you open the door, the last thing that you remember is being enveloped in purple. And as you pierce this purple veil, much like someone would crossing over into or through a shallow waterfall, letting the fluid drip over you and wash you clean, you find yourself stumbling into a different stone lining the corridor. You find yourself stumble and you smash against the wall as you roll, and without looking back, what was chasing you has followed. But we certainly don't know how badly Ellie is hurt right now. So the only thing that we can do is roll 1d50 twice.
Yeah, wish me luck.
So, as is the case with the last survivor of a Drow war party targeted for termination by some force deep within Undermountain, you have lost 32 hit points as you are running through this area. Your ebony obsidian skin is caked with blood. Anything on you that isn't dark or matted or part of the camouflage of the Underdark, anything that would hold a lighter hue or color has been stained as either by grime or by blood as it leaves your body. And so as you smash and as you run, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw as you have been running for quite some time. Now, I'll gladly roll a d20 for you. I swear I roll high all the time. Darn it. Foiled again. So, Ellie, as you roll into and out into this hallway, your dark vision takes over as there is no natural light. However, being accustomed and attuned to the deep dark, the Underdark, where no light exists beyond that of the bioluminescence of certain creatures or of fungi, you realize that this darkness, where a human would find it pitch black, it's as if there is a low light for you. You realize that you are closer to the surface, much like a sailor or a swimmer would realize that the sea floor is growing to meet them as they swim to shore. You know you are closer to that dread sun above. But as you hit the wall and slide and roll and you begin to run again, not the second, not the third, but the fourth wind filling your lungs, as you run, you hear these creatures not crashing or stumbling, confident in their strides as they boom, 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 and you hear a laughter begin to chuckle and emanate not from a voice or a throat, but it's in your mind as you hear and you continue your run. And as you spill out into another larger section, you see pillars everywhere as they seem to dot this much, almost a cathedral-like space. And as you turn and head towards a source of a wider corridor towards your right, as you run, the creatures move into this vast space as well, and this time with their throats, audible to anyone that would hear. A bellow and a roar erupts and echoes against the stone, bouncing like a dwarven hammer. And as you run into this new hallway, desperate to just get away, you look ahead and you see 2 goblins and a human in very shiny armor. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll bring in everybody else as this is our group, and Sir Gorbrin is standing in this hallway with the 2 goblins known as Piddle and Groin. And Sir Gorbrin, you see a drow elf covered in blood charging you just after you heard this roar.
Gorbrin is probably in mid-passing of a bread loaf to Sir Piddle. And seeing this drow, his first instinct is slight panic. He wants to get a read on this person and see if they're a threat or if they're running from something.
Give me a perception check.
Well, because I have Sentinel Shield, I have advantage on perception because my perception sucks. That's a 13.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's Katie, would Ellie be, she sees a human, what would her reaction be to a surface dweller? Is this a preferable course to go towards what she would definitely recognize as a knight of some kind, or considering that she is being chased by things that have decimated and destroyed her war party, how does she react to this potential enemy or ally?
I think seeing in any other circumstance, she would keep her distance and wouldn't approach, but she's being chased by something that killed her whole party. And you just hear her yelling, they've killed them all. They've killed them all. Run, 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 run. She's just screaming as she's running.
Is this in Undercommon, by the way?
If she notices you're a human, she'll say it in common.
Okay. In Undercommon, he will say, well, shit. He'll turn to Sir Piddle and Sir Gloin, and he'll shout, "Get behind me!" And he'll say towards the room that his compatriots are in, it's like, we've got invaders, to me.
And as your commands rocket out and rocket and sally forth, you turn to see that Sir Piddle and thank you, Hawkeye. You see Sir Piddle and Groin already moving to escape the area. They're not falling back. They are running for their lives. And they are running in the opposite direction, back towards where you all dropped in from the yawning portal. Everyone else, no need for a roll. Those of you that are in the room opposite this hallway or against this hallway, who are currently looking at the bewildered Kyogen, who is stuck to a sword, which is in turn stuck to an armored mannequin, or an armor mannequin, I should say. With a perception check, as you do have light in this area, Gorbrin, and at this point, I would also take one from Ellie. Ellie, as you run and kind of reach Gorbrin, you both look back as the second roar sounds, and I will, with a perception check, tell you everything you see, or how little you see.
Ellie just isn't even looking behind her. She doesn't care. She wants to live.
Okay. What I will tell you then is, even with the 9, as you roll through, you see that there is a door which appears to be some sort of secret door that leads out of this hallway to the north. And it's open. It has not been closed. Gorbrin, though, as you turn around with your Sentinel Shield advantage, you see charging towards you 2 very large creatures. They're not gargantuan, they're not giants, but it takes you just a second to realize the skulls of these 2 creatures that are running towards you are the flesh and fur covered equivalent to what Piddle was trying to sell your witch, Dearna Hall, as these bugbears enter the area. But it takes you, and also with an 18 perception, it becomes very obvious that they are not alone. As they run up and stand, there is an intelligence in their eyes and face that belies the normally savage, that's awesome. Normally savage visage and countenance of the bugbears. It is a high intelligence, a calculating intelligence. And between the 2 bugbears, almost like a dog coming to heel, you see these padded, almost fur-covered talons clip, clip, clip. And instead of a head of a dog or great cat, you see the ridged mass of a brain as this small creature kind of saddles up beside the 2 larger, and they look down almost as if they are taking commands. They turn and produce weapons and smiles as they move towards Gorbrin. But before we do anything in the hallway, let's do something about 30 seconds ago. Inside the room, as a scream goes off, inside we have Karis, we have Dearna Hall, we have Kyogen, and we have our other player, Garnet, who is not with us today, played by Lauren. At the exact same time as the scream goes off, almost as if it were, I don't know, coordinated, Garnet, from her position against the wall where she was checking for anything that might aid them, identify, help in their quest, help to free Kyogen, much like you would see in a pulp fiction novel, the wall quickly spins and your friend turns just in time to say, "What the heck?" And it spins and she is gone. Once there, now disappeared. So I am going to give everybody in the room now, Kyogen, Karis, Dearna Hall, you all have an action, as this is the moment where the roar becomes a scream from a drow you have not yet met, screaming for everyone to run. So you have this beat. What would you like to do?
So Kyogen, sort of evaluating the situation with one hand stuck to the stupid sword. Here's the shout of Gorbrin, and immediately looks over to Karis and suggests that we have them to come in here into a defensible position.
As in, you want us to call them to come in here to...
I can't move.
Good point. I cast message to Gorbrin, who I'm fairly confident is still out there. I don't really know. That sounds really bad. Maybe come in here.
That will be getting to him right about the time I have Gorbrin roll initiative, as your moment is over, and then I will turn and ask the witch, who is also accompanied by her albino raven, Hemelig, what would you 2 like to do from your position atop your broom?
Fly upwards and hide in a ceiling corner.
Very good. So any particular corner, if we're looking at a square room, do you want the northwest, northeast, southwest, or southeast?
Actually, I want to sort of hide like there. Do you see me pinging on the map?
Yes.
Near, so I can see Gorbrin and what's happening, but I'm not immediately noticeable. I want to be able to keep an eye on what's going on, but still be kind of hidden.
I want to be definitely behind Kyogen.
It's not hard. He can't dodge you. So, first, let's have a stealth roll from our witch. And if you're trying to hide Karis, like if you're trying to like hit the shadows and get deeper behind him, I would take a stealth roll from you. But if you're staying just basically like arm's length away from Kyogen, but keeping him between you and the door, that's not going to really be a stealth roll.
I'm going to try to be stealthy.
Okay.
Do I have advantage on this?
You do from your elevated position. So yes, please go ahead and roll with advantage. With 10, you float up, and I mean, it looks good. From your position, you look pretty hidden. When you get up there, and with a 22 stealth, Kyogen, you feel Karis' hand on your shoulder, and then it's just gone, and so is she. As you kind of... All of us right now, let's roll some initiative as we decide how things are going to happen here in the dungeon. Woo! Okay, is that everybody? Let's see. Yeah, I need Gorbrin 2. If you could roll initiative, or did you already do so? Oh, there we go. 18.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
You'll definitely be first. So we've got Gorbrin, followed by what looks like Ellie. Then... Let's see. Alrighty, so here's what I have, everyone. Gorbrin, Ellie, Kyogen, Karis, and Dear Nahal. And you will be facing the lovely creatures as they roll their own initiative. Oh, a terrible roll for them. Yay, everybody. Alrighty, so as you all turn, and as this occurs, Gorbrin, you have the first action, and just as you turn and face these creatures that are coming towards you, seeing these three, two large and one sort of thinking lapdog, when you look at them, just as you make eye contact with them, in your head, you hear Karis.
Okay, so a couple of questions. Given my background dealing with Underdark things, do I know what these things are? Especially the brain that's on the ground?
I will allow you to make a history and or an arcana check. The arcana check will be a lower DC.
It's okay. Arcana check is something that I'm slightly good at, so we'll see how this goes. 11.
I mean, you've heard of weird stuff coming from down in the like aberrations and strange creatures that are beyond the pale of the natural world above, and that's what you're kind of gleaning from this. This is not something from the surface, and as these thoughts rush through your mind, that's about all you can get out. As these creatures have identified, if there's anything that creatures of the Underdark like better than a knight, I'm not sure exactly what it is, because it's a delicacy of, it's almost like chestnuts or walnuts. You get to crack it open and get to the inside. So what would you like to do? You think that this is not good.
So can I reply to the message? Is that a thing that's able to go down?
I'll give you a free action to do so.
Okay. He's gonna say, I'm going to send you a drow. She doesn't seem to be a problem, so when she goes in, do not hurt her. And with my action, I'm going to grab the drow, and while pushing her towards the door and saying, like, it's like, my friends are in there, go! I'm going to dump my entire lay on hands pool into this drow, and that's going to be 25 health points.
So in true paladin fashion, having just met a wounded drow, you get 25 hit points as the lay on hands touches and heals flesh that has been pained and scarred and exhausted from both this fight and this flight. So is there anything else, Sir Gorbrin, that you would want to do, as you've got movement and you've got enemies?
As he's pushing her, he's going to say in undercommon, don't make me regret that. And as he's moving with her, trying to keep himself between them and her, as a bonus action, he's going to move the 30 feet towards the door, but as a bonus action, he is going to cast Shield of Faith on himself. And he's going to bring out his shield. He's going to slam a hand down. It's like, lady, be my guide. And the eye will flash, and the shield will grow slightly bigger as I gain +2 AC.
Fantastic. So as both the eye opens and the area of protection open, you are just a step or two behind Ellie. Ellie, as you enter this new room, Karis, you hear in your head, I'm sending you a drow, don't kill her. But you hear in your head, I'm sending you a drow, don't kill her. Kika, Dierna Hall does not hear this. Jason Kyogen does not hear this. There is simply a drow running into the room, and your paladin friend is nowhere to be seen. As Ellie, it is your turn. You enter a room described as such. Almost a perfect square. It's got high ceilings. You see a large 7'2" approximately humanoid figure with long black hair, seemingly stuck to a sword that is stuck to an armored mannequin, standing in the middle of the room, I'm assuming looking right at you. You can roll me a perception check to see if you notice anything else.
Yeah, I'll do that for sure. Was 11.
You do not notice the Yuan-Ti that is in the shadows of this room. However, as soon as you walk in, for whatever reason, perhaps it's being accustomed to the way that the predators of the Underdark work, your eyes look up, and there, nestled in the corner, somebody on a broom. And they seem to have a white bird with them.
As she runs in, she immediately holds her hands up. Big guy told me to come in here. We should run. And she's like heaving very heavily. She's been running. Even though she's healed, it still hurts. So she's been beaten up a lot. But she's just, I'm not kidding. We might die.
With the proclamation given, the ears of everyone in the room, it reaches. What would you like to do? Your movement is expended. You are in the room, but you do have action and bonus action should you wish to use it.
If I look out the door, can I see the paladin and the creatures? Like if I just lean back out the door that I've run in from?
If you lean back out, you can probably see Gorbrin as he rolls around and slaps the outside of his shield. You've got a good shot of like his back and shoulders. He's a big guy too. He's like 6'6" or 6'7". So he's taken up quite a bit, as this was a secret door that was actually behind a statue. So there's a lot of kind of peripheral blind spots when you peek out.
How far away are the creatures from me?
If they have not advanced, they're going to be around 30 feet from the door.
Would it be cool if I could cast fairy fire
I will allow you to do so, but you must go back out and stand beside Gorbin if you'd like to do that.
Oh. Yeah, I think she's just going to look at everyone and just go, fine, I'll go help your friend. And she just runs back outside, and I'm going to cast Fairy Fire. And they have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Alrighty.
For 14.
Yeah, that's not going to do it. As proficiency bonus, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, still no way that works, as both of the bugbears illuminate in whatever color your fairy fire is. It can be whatever you'd like.
It is a bright purple. It's almost, in certain lights, which you wouldn't see it down here, it's almost the color of her obsidian skin. And
Awesome.
whoever
So
attacks it gets advantage.
Gotcha. Okay, so as we go in, that's the remainder of your action, Ellie, as you are now standing like shoulder to shoulder with Gorbrin. Kyogen, excuse me. Kyogen, you saw this drow run in, scream for 2 or 3 seconds that you should run, fine, you should help, and leave. And of course, because this is conversation in D&D, you can't respond as it's not your round yet. But you have a moment to yell out if you would like. Try to extricate yourself from whatever you'd like to do, my friend.
All right. Immediately freaked out by the disappearance of his good friend Karis. He about what's the distance between Kyogen currently and where the bugbears are?
You wouldn't know exactly where they are because you can't see through the door.
What's the distance to the door?
To the door is about 15 feet.
Okay. I would like to bonus action rage and then make an athletics check with advantage to rip this mannequin out of the ground and charge towards the door.
Okay, so you rage up, and I'd like you to roll that as you try to like just squat and lift this thing off the ground. Oh, jeez. Okay, so anybody that's in there, which would be Dirna Hall and Karis, you would hear the sundering of timbers. It's kind of disconcerting for you, Karis, as this mannequin looks like you. And you hear this crack as right around below the knee of the right leg and around the left ankle turns white, as whatever this is made of begins to bend, and you see the veins pop out on Kyogen's neck as he lifts, and you hear it give away, much like boots being pulled out of mud, not the breaking of timbers. You hear this as he busts free, and you see it tear almost like cloth or muscle as Kyogen, you've ripped this thing out. It's still on the end. You've got it skewered on the end of your sword, but you now have a sword with a pretty hefty wooden body on the end of it, but you're free.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to burst out into the hallway. And now that I'm out in the hallway, do I see where they are?
Yeah, if you use your movement to get out into the hallway, as you come out, I'll allow you to get kind of shoulder to shoulder with everybody that you see out here too, which would be the drow, Ellie, and Gorbrin. And as you come out, it almost looks like there's 4 people in a line, one of them being Wooden Karis. And as you are all standing there, you can see the bugbears and this little 4-legged brain kind of paddling up towards you guys.
The athletics check would have been my action, correct?
Correct, yep. And then bonus was rage and then movement. So you should be...
Yep.
You can say something. I'll give you a free action to say anything if you'd like. But other than that, you're...
No, he's just going to sort of take a defensive kind of stance. And whenever they roll up, I'm just going to lay the beat down with the mannequin.
Gotcha. Okay, so that cuts us back to the hidden Yuan-Ti Karis. Karis, you see your doppelganger ripped from the ground. You see Kyogen charge outside, even though the warning was, run, we're all going to die. Everyone seems to be foregoing that warning and running towards death. What would you like to do, though?
From my hiding place, I say, well, that's disconcerting. And I kind of shrug, like, everyone else is going out there. There's got to be something interesting happening. So I just kind of like plod out to like the door, do a little peek, and see what I see. How far are they from the door?
They are about 15 feet. So as you kind of peek out, you're able to get, with the cover of the other individuals that are kind of forming a phalanx, you're able to peek out and you can get far enough out to see these massive creatures.
Are bugbears humanoid?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, they're considered creatures, though. So they're not necessarily like playable race if you're going to charm or something like that. It's more like dominate monster. I'll double check for you, though.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if I would be allowed to cast Hold Person on one of them.
Bugbears are humanoids.
Yep, absolutely. You can cast, if it's Hold Person, sure.
Yes. I would like to do that, please, on whichever one is standing closer to Kyogen.
Okay. And what is the DC that I need to roll? And is that wisdom or
16 wisdom, yeah. Roll low, roll low, roll low.
with advantage with the 17, you see it freeze for a moment, and then you see a paw from the little creature with the brain reach over and touch the foot as the bugbear starts to move again.
With my bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word on the pretty new drow friend that we have, and I'll shout, "Hey, if you're gonna be our friend, you should kick their butts. Thanks."
And yeah, give Ellie, I'm going to tell you what, just as an asterisk, everybody time out for a second. When one of my evil characters is running for their lives in the Underdark, I hope to hell I run into a group like you all. Because the ability to just stumble in and just get healed up, I love it. It's like a pit stop.
That's literally what I needed to be back at full health, so thanks. Good job.
All right, love it, love it. So what we're gonna do here is, because the one bugbear had to use the advantage that was given, he will be attacking at disadvantage. I'm sorry, Karsh, did you have anything else after your healing word? Okay. And that bugbear is the one that's going to come in at Kyogen, and so it will be attacking with its Morningstar at disadvantage. That's not gonna hit. And the second one comes in at Gorbrin. 21. Will that hit? Will not hit with the plus
not
2
with
AC.
Shield of Faith. Not with Shield of Faith. 22.
Nice, nice. Love it. Okay, so with the final that comes in, I would like, let me see here. I need Sir Gorbrin to make a intelligence saving throw for me, please.
Okay. I'm going to make with that with advantage. So I'm going to use one of my last 3. Oh, no.
Okay, I would like you now to roll a 3d6 for me, please.
Yep. It's going to be great. It's going to be good.
I just got 4 avantage. Thank you, my friend.
9 damage.
9 damage. Okay, so is your intelligence 9 or less?
It is. My intelligence is 13, so new.
Okay. As you sit for a moment, you feel your body just ring as if somebody has clubbed you with a tuning fork. And as you shake for a moment and your brain goes sideways in your head, everything shifts, but you're able to focus on your shield, on your faith. and it brings you back as the world ceases its reverberations and instead becomes the world of one. You have bested back the intellect devour. Let us now go to our witch, who's the only one left inside the room. Dear Hall, Kika, what would you like to do, my friend?
I'm just gonna, leisurely float on out into the hallway, see what's going on, see a spooky brain and 2 big-ass bugbears, and throw a chaos bolt at the brain.
I love it. I love the build up to that. I'm just gonna do the chaos. So go ahead and fire away, and that is it's a ranged spell attack, and then I have a saving throw, don't I?
No saving throw. Do you?
Okay.
It's a ranged spell attack. Does the brain have fairy fire on it?
Yes. So you guys have advantage with anything that you get hit by, because you have the ability to cast it on anything within a specific area, correct, Ellie? Your fairy fire? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
It's like a 20 foot by 20 foot, something like that.
Yeah.
They were
I
all
wish I
cubed
could
up
find-
anyway.
Okay, so I just need to know if I have advantage or not. So I'm taking.
And a
the-
20-foot cube within range.
They were all
And they
inside
shed
it.
light in a 10-foot radius, so you should be good.
Yep.
As long
So
as
they
you
were.
can see them.
Yep, they were all inside it. So fire away with advantage.
25 to hit. Does a 25 hit?
Just hits. Yes.
Wow, just barely.
Just squeaked by. Yeah. So for-
7. So yeah, I just say some prayers to my dark patron and just weave just a bolt of pure chaos in the air and throw it, and as it travels, it shifts and changes to pure thunder as it strikes the brain. So I'm doing thunder damage.
Fantastic. And what is the total? 15?
16.
16 total? Yep.
Yeah.
So as it hits, you see the gray matter that consists of everything above this thing's undercarriage and feet. It almost ripples as if you're casting Thunderwave against water or against some type of fluid, liquid soup or a cauldron. And you see it ripple, and the rest of you see when that happens, the 2 bugbears stop for a second as if they're listing aboard the boards of a ship, as if something has moved, and they right themselves and they're able to maintain their posture. But you see that the intellect devour, much like a dog that has been kicked or a cat that has been sprayed, it kind of goes back. You don't hear anything except the chitter in your mind. Where Ellie heard a laugh before, this was more like a as it falls back and seems to try to put the bugbears between it now. And we're back at the top of the order for Gorbrin, unless we've got something else from the witch.
I'm going to use my awakened mind to say to the intellect devourer, thought you'd be more impressive than that. And then I'm going to float back and down so that the rest of the party is sort of between me and it.
So you just popped up, shot, and popped down? The classic cannon. Absolutely, yeah. So you had plenty of movement left to pop up, take your shot, pop down, throw your taunt. So as you drop back below visual range, Gorbrin, you have this creature in front of you. You had the mind shake that hit you from the intellect devour. My God, there it is. It's behind you. So what would you like
It's
to
right
do?
there. It's going to eat us.
Right. It's telling us. Gorbrin's gone, everybody.
So, intellect devourers are sentient, but they are not able to be reasoned with. Do I know that?
You had an earlier roll to detect and see what this thing was, and you didn't glean that ability from it. Diurna Hall would probably know that, but you're in the middle of combat right now.
Okay. I'm going to cast... Actually, Gorbrin is going to cast Calm Emotions. He's going to wave his hand, just keeping himself between the group and the party. One second, sorry.
Play with me. You just got home. How dare you get on your computer? How dare you? Now pick me up. Tell me I'm special.
Stop that. He's going to. Sorry, this is a she. Hello. And he's going to say, "We have no quarrel with you. Turn back, or you will die." And he's going to cast Calm Emotions, and they each have to make a Charisma saving throw DC 15. If they fail, they are indifferent about humanoids that is hostile towards. That indifference ends if the target is attacked or harmed by a spell, or if it witnesses and if its friends being harmed.
Gotcha.
When the spell ends, the creature becomes hostile again.
I will let you know that this will be done done with advantage, just for reasons that 18, and can you do it to both or just one?
Calm Emotions is any humanoid within a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point, so it's the whole group.
You notice that the one that's on Kyogen, when you say this, that one lowers its weapon and seems to not look confused but inquisitive as it looks over at its comrade and then down at the Intellect Devourer. It's and is that the end of your turn, my friend?
As a bonus action, and let me see what I got for bonus actions, because on D&D Beyond you can find that out. So it's the only one that seems to be doing that.
He's one of them, definitely. The one on Kyogen, the one in front of you still seems bloodthirsty. The one on Kyogen seems just thirsty, like confused. Like, I've been running a lot. I'm hungry. Is there something to drink?
Okay.
Where am I?
So in that case, just so you know, Calm Emotions is a concentration spell, so my Shield of Faith goes down. But for my bonus action, he is going to cast Compelled Duel on the brain. And it needs to make a Wisdom saving throw 15. And on a failed save, the creature is drawn to you, compelled by your divine demand. For the duration, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures other than you, and you must make a Wisdom saving throw each time it tries to attempt to move a space more than 30 feet away from you. If it succeeds on the throw, the spell doesn't restrict the target's movement for that turn. But he's going to turn the brain that's on the ground. It's like, you seem to be the one in charge. Come. Let's see what you can do.
You see the creature peek out from behind one of the legs, and much like, again, a pet with a lowered head, kind of head area, comes forward, still suffering from like the quivering stunning that had been given to it by Kika, but it comes forward, dragging its taloned and furred feet, but it's moving towards you. Gorbrin, if you're done, Ellie, you see that the tables have turned a bit here on these creatures that were chasing you. What would you like to do?
She takes a deep breath and she's going to use bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon at the Intellect Devourer. And when you see it, it's a whip, but you can tell very, very distinctly like the actual whip part of it is made out of very finely, tightly meshed together spider webs. And yeah, I'm going to try to attack it.
Okay, go right ahead.
Oh, I get advantage. So hold on. 26. That's a nat 20.
Yeah. So with that nat 20, go ahead and roll damage, but this would have to be like a
Do
1
you
in a million.
do double your dice? Is that how you do it, Greg?
Double the dice. Yep, please.
2 different types of crits in a row, y'all.
13 points of damage.
So with that 13 points of damage, you all see the following. Perhaps Dearna Hall sees it best and Kara sees it best because they're not engaged with the bugbears. With a whip, the Intellect Devourer goes back and spreads along the floor. It's basically kind of deflated as the whip robs it of the life that had been keeping it, the life that had been keeping it upon its feet. You see both of the bugbears drop to their knees almost simultaneously. They both reach up, and you see them grabbing at their skulls, the same skulls that Piddle would and probably will at some point clean and peddle. The creatures look, and I'd like everyone to roll a perception check for me, please.
We get advantage due to the fairy fire.
Not for this.
I just have to ask.
You're going to see it anyway, though. As both Ellie and Dearna Hall see the following. The bugbears drop over lifelessly as their heads smash against the... just break against, they don't break open, they just smash and break the stone at the feet of Kyogen and at the feet of Gorbrin. And as these creatures hit with those perception checks, and maybe Dearna Hall with some of the practices you've performed, there's almost like a hollow sound, as if a bucket not filled with anything had been dropped. And in the distance, just around the corner, you see a as 2 more of those creatures with the brains and the 4 heads look and disappear into the darkness, the way in which Ellie had run from. The creatures are dead at your feet, though. If they had ever been alive.
Ellie finally leans over and puts her hands on her knees and thank you. Thank you for your help. I need to go.
Okay,
Oh,
bye.
not so fast. I think you should stick around. I want to hear why you were running. Obviously from them, but why are you here?
Well, I'm not really sure if I should disclose anything. I just met all of you.
I mean, we did
Gorbrin's
use
gonna
precious
immediately
energy.
cast Zone of Truth. Second level charisma saving throw 15 on everybody.
I'm still standing back by the door, so I don't know how far that extends, but I'm like up against the wall, chilling.
Here's how we're gonna play this. You can make a dex saving throw, and anybody that doesn't want to be in the zone of truth and kind of figures at the last second, oh fuck Paladin, and you jump back and don't want to be in the zone of truth, we'll see if you can.
Kyogen just totally ignores it and casually strolls over to the brain thing that's in a puddle and just makes sure it's dead and just starts beating the mannequin on the ground. I wish I could
wanna
get this
harvest that.
off.
Dearna goes over to the brain and starts cutting into it and wants to check its like amygdala, and she wants to inspect it.
Is there no one here who can get this stupid thing off of me?
I'm going to choose to fail to save. I'm not going to roll against it.
Okay. I'd like a dex save from Sir Gorbrin too. This will be in comparison to Karis to see if she got out by the time you cast Zone of Truth or not. It's almost like a draw in the middle of a western town.
Nah, she gets out of it.
Yeah, Cars, you leap back just in time. Ellie, however, you have voluntarily been inside the zone. You must tell the truth.
Yeah, she keeps her mouth shut.
At this point, Corbin's gonna move up to her. Ellie, you would probably notice that everyone else here that there is a sword on Gorbrin's belt, and the hilt is very much styled in a very standard, if painted on drow hilt. He's going to cross his arms, and in Undercommon, he's going to say, "Where is your war party?"
She looks at you and then looks at the rest of the group here, and in Undercommon herself responds, "They're all dead."
What city are you from? Mezzoberanzon?
She just doesn't answer. She's just staring you down. I'll tell you this. I'm not a threat to any of you.
Why were they chasing you?
Because we were a threat to them.
What did you do to them?
We tried to kill them. Wouldn't you try to kill something like that? They got the upper hand. And now everyone but me is dead.
Do you serve her? And the her is like almost a spit.
Of course I serve the Mother Matron. It's either here or there. We should... And she notices Kyogen, and in common just says, "You need some help?"
A stupid sword and stupid mannequin. I can't get my hand off.
Were you touching things you shouldn't be touching?
Yes.
It was a danger to my friend Chorus.
Yes, he grabbed a cursed sword from an unmoving mannequin because it was very dangerous.
She looks at the rest of you and then walks over to Kyogen.
Oh, Corbin's gonna stand in the way. Just so you don't leave the zone of truth.
She looks up at you. Not a threat, remember? I'm trying to help your friend.
What city are you from?
She's not gonna answer. You can let your friend die. I don't really care. I'm trying to help.
Are you here because of some sort of prophecy or vision?
I'm here doing what I must for Loth.
That could mean anything.
Let her try. Let her try to get the mannequin and sword off of Kyogen. Gorbrin, do you mind if I speak with you for a second?
He's gonna hold up a hand, and in Undercommon he's gonna say, "If I let you go out of the circle, is there any chance that you're going to try to kill me or my companions?"
I only kill people who seem a threat to me.
He's gonna narrow his eyes and drop the zone of truth. And he'll move over to Charis. And he'll nod. Of course. I always have some time.
That's so kind of you. I know that this was very fast-paced, and I know that there's a lot of stuff going on here right now. But did you notice that Garnet was gone?
Where is she?
Here's the problem. We don't know. While you were out chatting with your little goblin buddies, a wall took her. So I think that we should use our new friend here, who kind of owes us one, to help track her down and get her back. I know you guys have a long history with each other, and I think
Gorbrin's
you would appreciate
immediately just going to the room where they all were. He's like stomping over there.
I follow along. That's the wall that she got taken into, and I don't know what took her, but I was a little bit more concerned with the immediate danger, but now I think this is something that we should focus on.
As soon as he's like in the other room, I immediately call Hemlig over and start like flaying bits of flesh from the bugbears and feeding it to him. I like clean off the skulls.
I'm going over to Kyogen and just approaching with my hands up. I promise I'm going to help you. You don't have to worry about me.
He sort of sticks out one arm because there's not a lot left of the mannequin after beating it on the ground with a sword. Get it off.
Of course. And Greg, I'm going to cast Remove Curse.
What does it look like when Ellie casts Remove Curse? It's a prayer-based divine magic. So, what do we?
You see as she closes her eyes and puts her hands over the sword area, and you being so close, Keegan, you can definitely see this. It's this purple energy that flows, and it begins to sort of web around this sword in your arm. Very shimmery strands of web, and she's muttering under her breath in Underdark. The only word you could probably make out would be Loth. She just see as this divine energy comes from her hands.
Kyogen, as you feel this blessing from the Spider Queen, which it is her divine magic that is removing this curse from your body, and replacing it instead with a blessing from Loth. As you feel this come in, you feel what almost could be identified as a light touch of 10 fingers along your shoulders, under your hood, and up your neck, tracing some of the iconography and ritual scarification along your neck as it goes and rubs, almost like the fingertips are tracing from the base of your skull through your hair. And you can actually feel your hair lift a bit as it comes through, a long tendril dripping down between your eyes as the fingers begin to almost massage your skull. And the hood that you're wearing pulls down on its own accord. And in your right ear, you hear a very breathy, "You're welcome." And the sword clatters out of your hand.
With that, in hearing that, Kyogen sort of pauses for a moment. And the dark sort of chill that he felt from it felt very similar to the feeling that he felt when he first met De'Aaron Hall. Not from De'Aaron herself, but from inside himself when he showed those guards people something that he doesn't quite show often.
You, Ellie gets a smirk on her face and just repeats what you heard. "You're welcome."
Thank you.
And she looks around, and I think her eyes land back on Kyogen. "I just don't really like him. I'm from Ched Nasad. It's destroyed. There's nothing there.
That's what happens when you build your city on a spider web over a giant pit.
I wasn't the architect.
Well, I'm just saying. Poor design choices.
The shiny human is quite full of himself, but often he does have his heart in the right place.
That's
And speaking-
subjective.
And speaking of, as the question of perfectly placed, anatomically correct pump placement, let's go inside the room as Sir Gorbrin, you enter into the room and there is no Garnet to be found.
Which wall?
I just point at it. It's that one. It opened it up. It took her. And I would have probably gone after her, maybe. But, that drow lady came in. And then there was that brain on the floor. I was a little bit more concerned. But now I think this is where we should be focusing our efforts.
I am well aware of what happened outside. And he's gonna look around, see if there's any sort of magic going on, any sort of magical residue that he can find. Anything that marks this wall as different from the rest of them.
You may do an investigation, a perception, or an arcana. Each roll, if successful, will give you different information.
He's going to do arcana, and he's going to use one of his advantages. 8.
Whether there is residue to be found or none, you can't find it.
Could I make an arcana check? Or since he already made one, should I make an investigation check?
Yeah, if you want to do something different, let's do an investigation as you move away from allowing him to look for the magic side of everything.
Yeah, so I saw it happen, so I'm thinking I'm looking for something that, like, maybe a mechanism that would be tripped or a way to get through the wall from this side. That's my
Okay.
goal. Ho, ho, ho.
Maybe 10 seconds after you're tracing where you find the edge, it's perfectly cut into the stone. As you're tracing it down, you feel a bit of a rise from the stone itself, right around toe level. And you just push it, and the wall, and you start moving as the wall, you're on some type of half plate. As Karis, you are now moving, going in the exact same direction that Garnet was going.
Gorbrin's going to grab her and pull her back.
Hey now.
Make a dex saving throw to see if you can do it.
Okay. 4.
You reach, you catch nothing but air as Karis goes around and disappears into the wall.
I cast message. I heard your sigh through the wall, Gorbrin.
Do you see her?
Do I see her?
Do you have dark vision?
Yes.
You do not. You are in what looks like another hallway, but when you look around, you can see that from your current position, there is... Let me clear some stuff out of here for myself. You can see when you peek towards the south, it comes to a T intersection. There appears to be a way back down towards the main pillared room that you saw before. It seems that if she was pulled through this area, she was taken through this hallway, but it doesn't require a roll for you to realize it had to have been north. Because if she had gone south through this hallway, you would have seen her during the combat.
Can I trigger the door to turn me back around?
Yes, you know where it is now. So you can absolutely, you can not tell anybody else about it and pretend you're doing a spell. You can do whatever you'd like, but yeah, you know where it is.
Yeah, I'm like totally like posing against the wall and I spin back around. So, she's not there. She was definitely taken somewhere else because if she was just walking, she could have come back to the room that we came in and back through that door. So, we should go through this special hidden door that only I know how to open, obviously, and go north. We should get the others and proceed.
Do you think we can trust the drow?
I don't think we can necessarily trust her because she is a stranger in the Undermountain. But I think she owes us one, and I think we can hold that over her, especially with someone as muscly as you and Kyogen. Especially if you want to save your very good friend. I think we could do it.
For my bluster, I'm not one for violence. That seems to be...
You do throw your weight around, though. You're very confident.
I try to be.
Well, use that to go save Garnet, huh? Come on.
You talk to the drow. I don't think I can remain civil, at least not right now. I'm gonna go find the goblins, see if they can be rounded up. Maybe they can act as guides.
Oh, so you can talk to goblins, but you can't talk to a drow? You talk to me just fine. I'm not that supposed to be nice.
There's a certain history there that I would rather not talk about, at least not right now.
You'll tell me. I'll get it out of you one way or another. Listen, if things go well, how about you tell me? And if things don't go well, I'll tell you something that you want to know about me. Little game.
This isn't exactly a game, Charis.
No, but what's the point of a job if you're not going to have a lot of fun with it? You're so uptight.
About this time, the rest of you would either have the opportunity to go further into the mountain through the main hallway or back into the room to see that the door has been bested by Karis and that Sir Gorbrin is engaged in conversation with the Yuan-Ti. Again, though, there is no Garnet as she appears to still be missing.
Ellie looks at, because it's just Kyogen and Dearney left out here, and she just, I'm Ellie. It's very nice to meet both of you and your friends.
I am Kyogen, last surviving member of the Bear Mountain Goliath clan.
Dearney takes out a book and writes Ellie's name in it immediately.
You don't meet many people willing to help around here.
Certainly not where you're from, at least.
You have something to say to me?
I think I just said it. The Underdark.
I mean, more. Would you like to elaborate? It's fine.
Typically, in the Underdark, people do not willingly help each other. They typically are more likely to stab each other and take things from each other if given the chance, such as this.
You know, stereotyping people is really not good.
I didn't say you did it. I'm just saying I'm just going off of the statistical averages of Underdark crime.
Okay, that's fair. Anyway, what are you all doing down here?
Before you answer that, I would just like to asterisk the fact that it was absolutely assumed that there's some statistical average bureau out there that is posting this information, and that you're all
fantasy census takers.
just nailed it. Well, I mean, facts are facts, you know.
It's like brought to you by Volo. This information is top secret.
Yeah, Volo's Guide to Stereotypes. That's where this all came from.
Volo's Guide to Crime Statistics.
Right. Love it. Okay, I'm sorry. Interrupted tangent. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm like in the middle of the intellect, like what's remaining of the intellect devourer, like just finishing up my dissection and taking notes in my book. While Hemelick's going away at those bugbear corpses doing whatever. And then I will check to see if those goblins left any of those juicy skulls behind before gathering my things. And
All of them.
I take
There
them
are-
all.
There are 2 bags full of skulls there.
I take both bags.
Okay, they're pretty heavy. It's going to be about 100 pounds of weight, and they're unwieldy. You can tell that they have leather bottoms on them and that the goblins had been dragging them. It wasn't like they were hefting them themselves. So these little goblin clauses were, dragging them along.
Take as many of the smaller skulls as I can, and then just leave the bigger ones there and take both bags. And just have 2 bags of little skulls.
Absolutely. 2 bags of little skulls. We'll say combined weight, you're looking at about 25 extra pounds. So it's easy enough. I mean, you can still fly on your broom and everything. You can drop the bags whenever you need to. But for purposes of the witch's aesthetic, she now has 2 leather bags of skulls. So keep that in mind when you're talking to her.
I think at some point Ellie has just given a little okay and is walking toward the room where the other 2 were, and not see. Is it obvious that the door was there?
Now that it's cracked open, so Karis has it to the point where you can see out into the hallway now.
Okay. Yeah, she's walking in and looking for the other 2. Do you need any help? I mean, I can always go. It's not that big of a deal.
Oh, no, you're fine. I had a little chat with Gorbrin. I'm very sorry that he's been so rude. My name is Karis. Nice to meet you.
Ellie, but she doesn't shake your hand.
Well, here's our problem. We lost a party member. Not in the same way that you unfortunately lost yours, but she was taken behind this wall here. And I would love to find her and recover her, hopefully alive, but you never know down here. And since we were so good in healing you and defeating those nasty creatures and saving your life, I think it would be only fair if you just join us for like a little jaunt. You know?
I would just like to point out that I killed the brain, but yeah, sure. I appreciate
it.
Your help,
Was so
and,
impressive.
Yeah, I appreciate your help, and I guess I do owe you one, and I take debt seriously.
Oh, that's
Don't
good.
have to stay.
Gorbrin, play nice.
I am playing nice. I'm saying that she has a choice. I don't like having someone feel like they have to be here if they don't want to be here.
She's an adult. She can make her own decisions.
Safety in numbers, right?
Of course. So, I messaged to Kyogen, hey, we're going to go find Garnet if you and Deanna Hall are going to come along with us. Or you could just stay out there. I can't tell you what to do, but you should come with.
You know I go where you go, Karis.
Then come on.
Gorbrin's just gonna say, I'm gonna go find the goblins, if they can be found. And
Don't wander too far.
As he's walking, he's gonna look to Ellie and stop. Look down at her. He's gonna take an intake of breath, and he's going to offer his hand. He's gonna say, your help was appreciated. Thank you.
As was yours. But she still doesn't shake your hand.
He'll drop it, give her a nod, and walk out the door awkwardly. And you can hear the plate mill just go like.
So why don't you shake hands? Is like a cleric thing or what is
I just don't like touching people.
That's fair. People can be pretty gross.
Germs are everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
especially down here.
As you all start off to the north through the passageway, I would like to know in what order you're walking. I'm assuming Gorbrin is first again, or are you allowing Dirna Hall to lead as this is her neck of the woods?
Well,
I thought Gorbrin was looking for the goblins.
yeah, he wants to at least make an attempt to see if they're within hearing distance.
I will let you know this without a roll needed. They're gone. If there was an ass to haul, they hauled it.
He's going to still shout down the hallway that they came from and that they fled down. It's like, there's a dragon if you come back. Gold coin.
Roll a perception check.
Okay. I have the shield, so thank God. I have 15.
Just barely, but you don't know where it's coming from. And it just barely touches your ears. You hear, "Keep your dragon! We want to live!" And then that's it. No more.
That's fair. He's gonna walk back into the room and be like, well, they're not coming back.
I'm looking at this sword that is or was cursed to see if it's still magic
How are you going to do so?
with my Eldritch Sight.
Yeah, it's glowing.
Okay. We don't want to touch that, but maybe it could be useful. Can I roll Arcana to see if it activates if specifically touched, and if I could like use something else to safely pick it up?
I'll let you roll an Arcana check. It's going to be a pretty high DC because there's not a lot written on this thing.
Yeah, I'm going to use my advantage.
Okay. Oh, and you all did receive an additional advantage from Staffan as as they have given you advantage across the board. Use it wisely.
Nat 20.
With a nat 20, you get the following information. If you were to pick up this sword by anywhere but the actual hilt, it would not affix itself to you. If you do so, it would require a remove curse again. However, you should be able to pick it up even by the hilt, provided there is flesh in between yours and the sword. The leather bags you just got from the goblin looks like it might work. And that is a nat 20 information check.
Yeah, are the bugbears wearing any leathers?
Yeah, just basic, incredibly disgusting stuff. But yeah, you could tear a piece off of it easy, or, remove a piece from the strap and...
Yeah, I'll just take out like my knife and cut off some of their leather stuff and wrap the hilt in it pretty tight, and then put that with the leather wrapped around the hilt in the bag. Just
absolutely. Add to your inventory 1 cursed sword. I like, this is almost like if you are an environmentalist Dungeons and Dragons player, you're not leaving anything behind, no footprint. As you guys are going in, you're taking skulls, you're taking the cursed weapons. I love it. What would you all like to do now as you can head north?
Ellie is following after Karis.
Okay.
I finally rejoined the party.
as you know, a cart is the next step. As Dearna Hall comes forward, what I would like everyone to roll is the following. As we get perception checks from everybody as you reach a T intersection about 50 feet above where you were or where cars had found the door. It goes to the left and to the right. You can see nothing down the hallway, even with dark vision, including the 120 feet dark vision or foot dark vision that Ellie has. But I would like perception checks and a charisma saving throw from Dearna Hall.
Ooh. I'm going to use my advantage, or an advantage.
And also give me one from Ellie. Charisma saving throw, please.
Sure, Greg. Sure. A 12.
Keoghan, Gorbrin, Karis, you are all at this T intersection deciding left or right, and in the process of deciding between these two options, you turn around, and whether you witness it or not, Dearna Hall and Ellie disappear.
Can I roll Arcana to see what the fuck?
Yes, you can make a what the fuck roll for Arcana. It will have a very high DC because the fuck has never really truly been discovered.
That's a good point. I'm going to use one of my lovely advantages.
I got a 24 though.
On 17.
Yeah, they were taken. This is magic you've never seen before. If I will give you this magic almost looks proprietary, as whoever works in this realm probably has trademarked spells and transportation devices, which leads us to a room. Dearna, Ellie, you are both standing in a well-lit circular stone room, roughly 20 feet from one end to the other, but no curves, no shadows, nowhere to hide, no visible doors. But standing at one end of the room regarding the pair of you is what looks to be a human man. His hair is wild, unkempt, white. His beard flecked with gray, age, and something sinister. The robes shift colors, almost like a storm front, or perhaps the man's mood. As he walks forward, "Why are you here?"
I think you called for us.
Ellie, because you failed your charisma save, consider yourself in a zone of truth. Dearna, you are not. What do the drow have with me? I've made no advances on your realm.
It's not my fault that Loth can't see what's happening here. We came to figure that out.
What would you have me do, little drow?
I mean, are you blocking her visions? She's very annoyed.
You're scared.
Yes.
You're all scared. So is your god. Delicious.
DNA would probably snort at that.
You will tell me your name. And as he says this to Dearna Hall and turns, he realizes she is not under his compulsion. Who are you? The white witch that roams these upper halls. Is that you?
Well, I mean, I seem to fit that description.
He seems irritated that he can't make you say this. What are you doing with the knight, the barbarian, and the snake?
They wanted a guide, so I was, showing them around a little bit.
You will
Picking up some
leave them.
salt.
If you wish to maintain residency in Undermountain, you will leave them
Leave them where?
where they lie.
That's boring, isn't it?
Not for me.
Well, I mean, given this situation, you could have also brought forth you could have offered me something in exchange for betraying them or anything like that. So you have a lot of options that you're just throwing out the window right now.
Tends to work with her kind. Yeah, the betrayal thing.
You're not wrong. Just going off of averages.
Yes, Volo's Guide to Statistical Underdog Averages does say it's a boring read for the most part, but I found him to be rather adept at these averages. I don't know where he gets his information, but it's wonderful. I digress. You already have something from me, which my permission to be here, to be hidden behind my own veil. I simply revoke your access. You can stay above ground and in plain sight. That's my offer. A continuation of your existence.
This sounds like a bad deal to me.
It's not very interesting.
It's pretty by the book, which is boring.
I do have to say that I do recognize your overwhelming power and your impressive magics, and I do appreciate you allowing me to take up residence within your halls. I'm sorry, I thought there would be more
chemistry? I don't have time for that. I have an empire to run, yes.
Empire? What kind of an empire?
Vast, dangerous, glorious even, its beauty. And as he's speaking, the hem of his robe turns a yellow and green, and it flickers all the way up. It's growing by the day. It's worlds apart. It's nice. Volo should write about it.
I mean, I'm sure we could find a way to contact him.
He's a disgusting man. I've met him once. Good writer. Bit of a hack, but he's fine. I mean, but let's just stick to the point, shall we? That, just leave these people. They are not your concern. They're beneath you. If we are going by excitement and boring, they are quite boring. Especially the paladin.
Well, I mean, standard paladin.
Right. I mean, according to the statistical averages, yes.
So tell me more about this empire. Are you building down?
I tell you what, witch. You leave, here's your excitement. You leave these fools to die at the highest of my levels, and I will grant you access to the lower levels. This one, and he doesn't look as he points to Ellie, she found a way down, or up, from her perspective. I can send you down the same way. You can come see my empire. Perhaps I can give you a corner of it if you prove yourself interesting enough.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. I do find myself interested. But what if I want an escort down to those levels?
I can provide one.
I mean, I could guide you guys down. You could just take them out when we get there.
Why would I do that?
It's fun.
Paladins are problems. As soon as they get places, they throw up auras and senses and other things that itch. I do not like them.
They also talk a lot about their god and try to convert you. It's very annoying.
It's true. These are things. Yes, they do. It's always propaganda.
And don't you have things that might cut paladins off from their deities?
Well, of course I can do this, but I mean, once again, I'm already tick-tock. There's a lot of things going on here. A lot of, plates spinning on poles and things. A lot of balls in the air. Other metaphors.
Working on that weave, eh?
His face drops. What do you mean? What do you mean, witch?
I'm just, wizard of your caliber. Stands to reason, one thing after another. Wizards always end up dabbling with the weave itself, right?
Roll a deception check.
I want to take advantage. 13.
That's not what you said. You said working on the weave. What did you mean by that?
Well, you let me, traipse on down, and I'll tell you when I get there.
Yes. Yes, I believe I shall let you down. Bring your friends. Yes. Yes. I await you.
Yeah. As you should. If there's one thing us Shatterkai are good at, it's getting secrets and information.
In fact, yes, you can stay. You can all stay.
Is this where you add the forever at the end and then an ominous laugh?
Once again, you are failing to read between the lines of the statistical averages. That I would save for our second conversation.
She's really, really good at stereotyping, though.
Excellent. She's obviously taken some type of stereotypical statistical averages course. I know that Waterdeep U had an Intro 101 program, but that was 83 years ago. I'm sure that there's probably some type of annex score now, but...
No, I just learned it in Kai school.
Really? They teach it at the lower schools now? I need to get up top more often. This is getting... There's a lot missing out on a lot of societal shifts. I mean, I need to rethink all of this. No, I think I would just take over everything. Okay, I'm multitasking as it is, witch. So yes, why don't you come down and talk to me more about my work on the weave? And, you can bring your friends. I would prefer
I
not
wouldn't
the
call them
paladin, but
It's more associates.
extended associates. I have a few of those, and charming, but yes, okay. You've convinced me. Come on down, and I'll pop in every once in a while. And now I'm going to save the forever comment until an undisclosed time, so you're not ready for it and say, "Is there a forever comment coming now?" And then I have to say it, and then I have to feel like an idiot because I was planned to say it. And so anyway, I'll just come on down, and I'm afraid, though, and he turns back to Ellie, you're going to have to die in here. Your people are awful. They send more of you.
He's not a cleric. They all die on their own on the way down. Ugh, I swear.
Well. Anywho, enjoy your time, and I think your friends should be... wait, and you see him pull something out of the air, and a glass ball appears as he looks into it. Oh, you lost one of them already. The one that looks like autumn.
It's like herding cats.
You have your hands filled. I think maybe I'm giving you a worse situation than if I had had you leave them. So therefore, I'm the winner of this exchange. So, have yourself a terrible time, and stay inside on the mountain. Until next we meet. Yes, all right. So, as you feel the veil drop again, we are going to cut back to Sir Gorbrin, Karis, and Kyogen as you all have a choice before you. To the left is a tunnel. To the right is a door. And every one of you rolled your perception checks that also work for the following. As Karis, I believe it was.
Got it. 20.
Yep. Karis, you hear from the other side of the door. Come on in. We have your friend.
Very fake. But like, just to be sure, I would like to do an insight check to see if
Sure.
that's nonsense. 'Cause
Absolutely.
That sounds like nonsense. That's like too easy. That's not super great. I probably believe it.
I mean, it sounds... I mean, there doesn't seem to be any malice coming from it. You don't... With your earlier perception check, you didn't hear, like, the mustering of arms or anything of that nature.
You don't need to muster arms to be a threat. I know this. So here's the thing, you guys. I bring them in close, so it's like a little whisper party.
Where the hell did they go?
I don't know. They're just gone. I hope they'll come back, because the more our numbers dwindle, the more, things aren't looking so good. That door is telling me that they have our friends, but that sounds a little bit suspicious. Doesn't sound like anyone is preparing weapons, but that doesn't mean they're not preparing something quieter, like a spell or an arrow. So, door or hallway, or standing until they come back, but I think that is a not as wise choice.
Gorbrin is going to put a hand on Kyogen's shoulder. He's going to say, Sir Kyogen, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How do you feel about smashing doors open?
He doesn't even answer. He just goes over and smashes the door open.
roll a athletics check or straight strength, whatever you'd like here.
I'm standing back. I know his door smashing ways. I don't want splinters.
Okay, so with a 10 you hit, and with your second kind of, this is Sparta kick, you smash open the door as it rocks off the top hinge and opens a bit. But with a 10 athletics, you kind of pitch forward and you guys see Kyogen kind of disappear into the room.
Is it dark in there so you can't see inside?
No, it seems like there is what looks like candlelight inside, but as he kind of pitched forward and rode in, he lost view from the swing of the door and the battering of the portal.
I am quite tired of this place, and we haven't even been down here 2 hours.
Yeah, that is pretty unfortunate. Don't worry, we'll take a nap later. I'll sing you a song. It'll be nice. Now get your butt in there.
He's gonna stalk towards the door, shield in hand, hand on his hilt as he goes through the door.
As you walk through the door, Sir Gorbrin, you see no barbarian. Kyogen is not there. But you do, however, see a white witch and a drow who are looking at you, and you look at them. And as you all three turn, with perhaps Karis peeking in through the door, you see a long, elegant table with meats and wine, sconces holding candles that are floating just above the actual metal, inside globes of light. And there, at the farthest right-hand side of the table, you see Garnet as she is sitting, eyes looking straight ahead, unblinking. There are 10 others seated in resplendent Waterdavian noble attire as they lounge, drinking from goblets. And a woman at the head of the table stands, her long yellow hair swept back in a style usually reserved for lords of Waterdeep. And as she looks at you all, she says, "This is your friend, is it not?" And as she smiles, she reveals the point of her canine teeth. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we will end this session of Dungeon of the Mad Mage, who I read in chat is more like the preoccupied mage. I like it. Alrighty, my friends. So let's jump around and talk to everybody. Let's see. Let's go around. Let's start with Jason. Jason, Kyogen's gone. I'm sorry to say that he's dead. No, you won't be with us next. You won't be with us next week. So Kyogen is indisposed. We shall say for right now.
Correct. Yes. Unfortunately, due to work scheduling conflict, I won't be here next week. But I will be back the week after with bells attached to my maul, ready for some action.
Awesome, my friend. Where can we find you online?
At Jason T DnD DM on Twitter. I'm always running all sorts of competitions and everything. Just give a shout out to Stefan in chat, who's been making it rain for charity, which is absolutely amazing. He purchased a magic item for Gorbrin, so I'll be giving him a 2-month sub to Sirenscape.
Oh, fantastic. And all of the donations from this week that did not come into play at this session will be in play at the latest by the end of next session. Also, I would let Sir Gorbrin know that he won the poll that was given. So at any time, Sir Gorbrin, you may initiate, at least before your next long rest, the effects of a long rest. So if you need to boost hit points or recover any of your abilities, you'll be able to do so with an action during your turn. Also, with that being said, let us drop down to our resident snake. How was it? And you did find an interesting trapdoor. I like the pose coming back. How are you? And where can we find you online?
Hi. This was good. I'm excited to be friends with our drow. She's cool. I'm scared for Garnet. Also scared but intrigued by the hot vampire lady. So we'll see how this goes. I really want to have a fun, witty exchange with the Mad Mage at some point, because that's going to be a hoot and a half. Oh my goodness. But yeah, you can find me here, obviously. You can find me on Twitter at Blinnebe, Blinnebee. And then other than that, the only other thing I'm doing is I am one of the writing contributors for the Uncaged Anthology, which is going to be a series of 4 volumes of one-shots that's going to be released on DM's Guild in January. So keep an eye out for that. There's a lot of great adventures, all featuring different female monsters and creatures, and you will have a great time playing some really neat stuff. So yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. All links in chat. Please follow these lovely people as we drop to the loveliest of the lovely, the knight in shining armor. Koros, how are you doing, my friend? And where can we find you online?
I'm doing just fine. Just so everyone in the chat is clear, paladins are not boring, okay? I don't care what some senile old man in some stinking dank basement that's not up to code says. We can be fun. We can have tea parties. We can drink whiskey. We can find stuff that people can't see. And no one, Smite is worth something, okay? It's worth something to us.
You can also share your collection of merit badges.
Exactly. Thank you, Kika. Exactly. Like the first prayer badge that you can get just by signing up for your oath, which you can not only do by praying, but you can also do by subscribing to Grimjack21502 on Twitch.
The count immediately drops.
He's got his 47 pieces of paladin flair on.
Exactly. As for where you can find me online, you can find me on twitter.com at Koros RPG, as well as twitch.tv/Koros RPG. I like to talk about D&D. My account on Twitter is locked right now, but if you want to check it out, I'll just send me a request and I will let you in. But I can't wait to see what happens next time. I don't know why there's vampires, but we'll find out. We'll definitely find out.
We shall, hopefully. And as is only right, we will skip over Katie and go to Kika. Kika, how are you? How is the witch? And where can we find you online?
I was just trying to act like I was keeping my cool during that whole interaction with Hallister. I am surprised I did as well as I did, all things considered. So, yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. That is exactly what I would imagine a true sort of feeling out pissing contest to be between 2 magic users. Everyone wants to think that they're Gandalf, but no, really what it is people that are not around other people a lot, having to interact and try to front, and it turns out to be more of a statistical averages conversation.
It's just a battle of social awkwardness, back and forth.
That's what it is. I just think of Dearness carrying 2 bags full of skulls too during this whole thing.
Yeah,
that's just part of it. Happily. I'm sorry, I interrupted again. Go right ahead, my friend.
We're gonna stab each other or go on a date. It's hard to say which. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/KikaVO, which is the best place to find out what I'm doing because I tweet things out, retweet streams and stuff, and I'm on a whole bunch of different stuff. So yeah, if you want to find me, you should follow me there. Or if you want to follow me on Twitch, you can follow me at twitch.tv/Kika. That's twitch.tv/KIKKA.
Fantastic, my friend, fantastic. Yes, and I think a bonus episode that we'll put behind a Patreon paywall will be the date between Hallister Blackcloak and Deerna Hall. And
I'm
like
down.
just
That'll
2
be-
hours of awkward conversation, at least an hour and a half of it, silence.
I will gladly RP that. That sounds delightful.
Just Deanna eating breadsticks. Just
That's all it is. And Hemelig singing in the background. Just completely, almost, very like Little Mermaid. It's just the most bizarre version of Little Mermaid ever. I
When
love
the
it.
moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
Okay, you're here. You'll be Hemelig in that one, buddy. Awesome. And let us drop down to our fantastic guest, who played perhaps the most likable drow I've ever encountered. Katie, how are you, and where can we find you online, my friend?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm really excited for next week. This is a great party. You guys are welcoming, so welcoming. You can find me on Twitter at KatieFace. Tomorrow on my channel on twitch.tv/KatieFace at 2 Central Standard Time, we're going into our first official session 1 of Scum and Villainy campaign. It's very good. Some great people playing in it. And tomorrow night I'll be on Wonder and DM's channel, guesting in his Witcher game. This weekend I'm going to be on Unmade Gaming like twice for charity games. And then Sunday, if you watched our Adventures in the Wild Blue Lady Blackbird campaign on Scraticus and Off the Tables channel, we're having our holiday special, which is going to be all 8 of us eating dinner together and trying not to kill each other. So that'll be fun. But yeah, you can just follow me on Twitter and post everything that I'm doing.
Fantastic. And everybody, please follow all of these lovely people. As I've said before, I will say again, I'm blessed to have people that like to play, that are kind. Kindness. Goodness gracious, we need more and more of that. And as I cannot produce kindness in the quantities that this world needs, I have brought in these people to not only role play, but to also spread kindness. And thank goodness they can do both with the best of them. Please follow, make your days a little bit brighter. Let's make 2019 even brighter still, as we all head forward in a community that is and can really set a standard. And I like it, and I love it. Thank you all for your involvement. Staffan, thank you so much for all the donations. We got a lot to work on, my friend, as you will be guest starring sometime, I believe, a little bit in the beginning of the new year. We will find a time in later January for you to pop in and say hi to everybody here and put your own fine stamp on this fine tale. Everyone else, until next week, please take care. If you celebrate a holiday in between now and then, make it a joyous one. And when next we meet, always remember, except with this crew who apparently can do it when they want, we can't always roll 20s, but we can role play. Have a great one, my friends.